Morning America. Blizzard blast. Whiteout conditions, heavy snow and wind pummeling the Midwest. Drivers stranded overnight, and families trying to get home from the holiday stuck at airports. Now the new warning out this morning, 14 states on alert as the storm moves east.
Confrontation at the border. Hundreds of migrants met by tear gas as they try to make it to the U.S. Families desperate to escape the fumes, and now President Trump's new threat to permanently close the border.
Demanding answers. Outrage after this young man is killed by police at an Alabama mall, mistakenly believed to be a shooter. Now his family is speaking out.
We definitely will get justice for our child.
The investigation and the search for a gunman still at large.
Final words. The diary of that American missionary killed after making contact with a remote tribe. Now revealed what he wrote about that fateful mission and his last message.
Cyber Monday. Record-breaking sales expected for the biggest online shopping day of the year, where you can find the deepest discounts on travel, tech, and toys. The savings going live right now.
And caught on camera, the vicious shark attack, a diver bit on the head and neck, how he's made it out alive. He's telling his story right here on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And we do say good morning, America. Great to have you with us on this Monday morning. Hopefully you were able to make it back home. We got to get right to that powerful winter storm that's hitting right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at the roads on I-90 in Chicago. Moving along pretty well right now, but the snow has caused a lot of trouble for drivers. Some standstill traffic at times, some accidents all across the Midwest.
A lot of frustrated people out there. Airlines are trying to de-ice planes and get travelers home, but thousands of flights were canceled or delayed on the busiest travel day of the year.
And this morning, hundreds of more flights are already canceled or delayed. Alex Perez is at O'Hare Airport in Chicago with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Robin. It's been a long night for a lot of passengers here at the airport. The storm's timing could not be any worse. A rude awakening for millions of passengers who thought they were going to get home. This morning, the dangerous winter storm bringing heavy snow pushing east, forcing airlines to cancel over 1,200 flights, delaying more than 5,000 others on the busiest travel day of the year.
Oh man, it's been hectic, bro. Really bad, really terrible.
Stranded passengers are spending the night in packed airports from Chicago to Charlotte.
You're just stuck in here. Everybody's in the same boat. You really cannot do anything about it.
Blizzard conditions shutting down parts of Interstate 70. The governor of Kansas declaring a state of disaster emergency.
It's bad out here. The visibility is probably less than a couple car lengths in front of us.
Whiteout conditions across the heartland, from Kansas to Missouri and into the Great Lakes, making it nearly impossible to see. This tour bus trapped after a spin out, blocking the highway in Iowa, causing a backup for miles. Along I-88 in Illinois, multiple vehicles, including a jackknife semi, sliding off the road, blocking lanes. In Kansas, the situation so bad at one point the governor there warned residents not to go outside at all. This storm is moving out of the area, but the residual problems will be felt here all day. Cecilia?
Yeah, we can see those lines right behind you, Alex. Okay, thank you. That storm system, as Alex said, is now heading east, creating headaches on the roads right now. But the real concern is tonight when millions head home from work. Rob is tracking it all. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Cecilia. Wind and snow and rain. Look at this snow. It's a good thing for ski resorts, but not when it's blowing 80, 90 miles per hour. This is Loveland Pass, about 13,000 feet. We have 9 states reporting over 50-mile-per-hour winds, 6 states reporting over a foot of snow. This is the first November blizzard in Missouri and Illinois since at least 1959. You're still getting it just outside of Chicago. This low will track just to the south of Detroit, snow north and west of there, and then the heavy rain gets into the New York I-95 area right around rush hour, and the heavy snow will pile up 6 to 12 inches northwest of I-95, but some seriously heavy rain here. Philly, New York, up through Boston, right through tomorrow morning. Coastal flood impacts. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. George?
Okay, Rob, we're going to move on now to those rising tensions at the U.S. border with Mexico, where a port near San Diego was shut down and migrants tried to breach a fence. Border Patrol used tear gas to try and stop them. In this photo, shared around the world, shows a family running from the fumes. The border is open again now. Our chief national correspondent is there with the latest. Matt Gutman, good morning.
Hey, good morning, George. Security is tighter here at the terminal. Now, we've seen additional border patrols here as well. Now, the Mexican government says it is going to deport the 500 or so migrants it says were involved in the clashes here at this terminal, one of the busiest on the planet.
By the dozens, they rushed the border, met by a wall of tear gas. It began Sunday when hundreds of Central American migrants protested at the border south of San Diego, at first clashing with Mexican police in riot gear, then some sprinting past them and skirting those pickup trucks and barriers into the maze of canals near the San Isidro border terminal. Many seen climbing over barricades and hopping onto trains. Behind those coils of concertina wire, dozens of heavily armed U.S. Border Patrol firing fusillades of tear gas and pepper balls at close range. Many hundreds beating a frantic retreat, among those caught in the clouds of tear gas, mothers clutching children. The chaos engulfing the northbound lanes of the San Isidro crossing at one of the busiest border terminals on the planet, ordered shut completely for hours. Mexican authorities say they arrested 39 migrants, and migrant groups say several people were hurt. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection saying in a statement, in responding to some of these multiple incidents, CBP personnel were required to deploy crowd-dispersing devices to include pepper ball launching systems and CS canisters. President Trump, who has repeatedly vowed to meet the caravan with force, in a tweet calling on Mexico to stop the caravans long before they get to our southern border. For weeks, the thousands of mostly Hondurans in the caravan marched peacefully, making the 2,400-mile trek from southern Mexico without incident.
Now, caravan organizers, George, tell me those migrants are not going anywhere. There are currently about 5,000 migrants here on the other side of the border in Tijuana. That number is expected to swell to 9,000 in the coming days. I'm told that many will seek asylum status in Mexico, but the bulk of them will try to get asylum here at this border terminal, which can only accommodate about 100 people a day, and that means they could be processing these people here for months. George.
Take an awful long time. Okay, Matt, thanks very much. Speaking to our Chief White House correspondent, John Carl, for more on this. And, John, all through the weekend, talk of negotiations between the U.S. and Mexico to keep those migrants in Mexico. Now, the president out there tweeting this morning he may permanently shut down the border, or at least try.
He's certainly making that threat, George, but the administration is trying to work out a deal with the incoming president of Mexico. He takes office on Saturday, an agreement that would keep those migrants on the Mexico side of the border while they wait for those asylum claims. There have been conflicting reports about the progress of those negotiations. The Mexican or incoming Mexican Interior Minister said that no deal has been reached yet. Meanwhile, the president is up this morning already tweeting about all this, saying that Mexico should send those migrants back to their home countries, saying do it by plane, do it by bus, do it any way you want, but they are not coming into the U.S. We will close the border permanently if need be.
And, John, meantime, on the Mueller investigation, a status report expected on Paul Manafort. Of course, he's the president's former campaign chair, and whether or not he's cooperating with Mueller today, as the White House appears to